And next up at UFC Fight Night, Vallejos taking on Emmett. We've got Bolaji Oki taking on Manoel Sousa. Carlos, who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with Oki to get it done, but I think it's a very strange pick for me just because Sosa, I feel, is the more well-rounded out of the two. And, you know, he looks the part, he's physical, he likes to come forward. And when he fought Christian Perez, who I feel is a little bit more accurate of a striker than Oki, and I think he's also more well-rounded. I think that he had Sosa hurt as well a few times more accurate. But Sosa was able to pressure him, and by pressuring him, he was able to wear on his gas tank a little bit, and that also could have been part of the jitters with Christian Perez. But I also think just the pressure from Sosa was able to get him tired. He was able to capitalize later on in the fight. But Oki, he fights long, and you got to get through that reach, and he does have those snapping punches. And I'm hearing about the power that Oki's got, and I'm waiting to see it because I have seen him hurt people. You've seen him hurt people too with some straight punches, and he's yet to do it. I think he's just measuring it too much, and he just needs to let his hands go. So I think he's got some good takedown defense. I'm gonna go with Oki to get it done, but like I said, not too confident about it. Sosa seems to be the more well-rounded of the two.
Yeah, I'm not super confident in this matchup either, and I'm usually the guy that's talking a lot of shit on the UFC debuts, and I'm usually fading them. But to be honest with you, Bolaji Oki here is an instant fade for me. I have a tough time picking this kid. Obviously, Manuel Sousa coming off of the Dana White's Contender Series performance, where Christian Perez was able to out wrestle him for 2 rounds, a round and a half. And Sousa in that fight, they demonstrated that he's got some good skills on the ground. He does tend to kind of get taken down and controlled on the ground, but he does kind of fish for legs or, create scrambles to be able to get up. He is an absolute physical specimen as well. I'm really impressed with this guy's cardio base. He carries power late into the third round. And if you go back and watch that Contender Series fight, the guy is able to really carry power late into the third, which impressed me. And to me, Bolaji Oki is really underperformed. They're selling this kid as this powerhouse, this great athlete. And so far, I'm kind of yet to see it, in my opinion. If you go back and look at the Timothy Kawamba fight, he's just jabbing the guy's face off. Split decision against Timothy Kawamba doesn't necessarily impress me. And if you look at skill for skill, I think Sousa is the harder hitter, the better athlete. I think out of the two, I would argue that he's probably more likely to get a takedown out of the two. And Bolaji Oki's not necessarily lived up to any hype, in my opinion. Sousa is a guy, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in Muay Thai. Oki is a guy that, when it comes to his training, all I really see is that jab that he pumps out in his fights. And you go back and look at the Mason Jones performance, his recent fight, obviously lost to Mason Jones with elbows from mount. I think Sousa here could definitely implement some grappling, get a takedown early, and ultimately, find a path to victory there on the ground. Oki, obviously, I trust his cardio as well. I don't necessarily think that he's got any cardio issues, but I think when you're taking a lot of damage from a guy that hits as hard as Sousa, I do think that will cause you to be gun shy. I think that will wear on the gas tank, especially when Sousa rips to the body. And I trust Manuel Sousa here to come in here and have a good performance. I don't necessarily trust what Oki is at this point, so give me Manuel Sousa to get this one done.